Every Spider-Man Ever presents Amazing Spider-Man issue 33. So let's recap. Aunt May is dying in the hospital. The cure for her illness is being manufactured by Dr. Connors, but he needs one final ingredient. That ingredient, ISO 36, is just an arm lengths away from Spider-Man. Unfortunately, the room he's in is starting to flood, and there are guards at the door, and he's trapped under tons of equipment. This issue is called the final chapter for a reason. Except, even though he's defeated, Spider-Man can't help but think about his Aunt May, and how he's our only hope, and how he let his Uncle Ben down, and within himself, despite all the odds, he begins to rise. The stress of tons of metal is enormous. The feat, almost impossible. He's close to blacking out from the strain, but little by little Spider-Man lifts tons of machinery from himself before breaking himself free, a hero once more. But his leg is badly wounded and the room is flooding fast. With the ISO 36 in hand, Spidey decides that there's no use fighting, going limp and letting the water carry him when it bursts into the room instead. Using his agility, he avoids the debris in the water, and at the last moment before drowning, he surfaces for air. Except he's pulled back into the water by those purple men that work for the Master Planner, and even though he can defeat them by pulling their air hoses out, he finds more waiting for him on the surface. He tries to fight, but he's outnumbered and weak and injured, and he falls under the weight of their blows. But as he falls, he thinks of his Aunt May again, waiting for him, and he fights on without thinking, defeating the purple men without even noticing, and then limps on to Dr. Connors. Spider-Man and Connors finish off the antidote, testing it on Spidey's blood to see if it works, before Spider-Man swings to the hospital and Connors calls ahead to let them know of Spidey's arrival. The doctors accept the antidote and perform a blood transfusion, but it'll be 2 hours before they know anything, and that's too long for Spider-Man to wait around and worry. So he swings back to the Master Planner's base to stage some photographs, then informs Foswell of the unconscious henchman and takes pictures of their arrest too. He's now square with Foswell, and Jonah is jubilant that his paper has the exclusive on the arrests. As Peter limps to Jonah's office to sell him the photographs, Betty chases him down, but when she finds him wounded from taking photographs and adamant that it's important to him, Betty falls out of love with Peter, reminded of her dead brother and his eagerness to put himself in danger. And in Jonah's office, Jonah is so desperate for the photographs that Peter took that Peter gets to negotiate a high price, enough for him to pay for May's medical bills and to buy back the equipment that Peter sold to get her the antidote. And then, with his business done, Peter's back at the hospital, and he learns that his aunt is fine, that her blood has come back clean. She's going to be okay. As she sleeps, Peter limps home exhausted, as the doctors wonder why more people can't be like this young kid Peter instead of the thrill seekers like Spider-Man. Thanks for watching, and while you decide what to watch next, here's a fun fact about this issue. Did you know that you're credited in this issue? Statistically, you probably weren't even born at the time.